For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah. This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
We talked about this story a couple of weeks ago and it got national attention and exploded. It was in Massachusetts, and this guy bet all these futures on the Celtics to win the Eastern Conference and the title. It was over $100,000 in future bets, and if all the tickets cash, it would have paid over, I think, $360,000, $380,000. He died. And then the widow went to gaming and DraftKings and said, I want to void the tickets. Give me the money back. And it goes back to, was the cash out available, all that stuff, and how that would play out. And other people would chime in, well, if they were on the Detroit Pistons, you wouldn't do this. And DraftKings said it's great to build. It's good for us to also build trust and help out the bettor. She looks like a genius now after what happened. She
handicapped it.
She didn't want to let it ride.
She didn't like him gambling. She just wanted the money back.
Yeah. So I don't want to let it ride.
What would the cash out have been at that point?
Pretty good.
Over 200?
Yeah, because he had good odds on him. He was betting them early and often. So it takes me back to that story and the breaking news that just happened that Tatum, who knows when he comes back now. I also think this is fair. Pat Forty, friend of the show. As bad as feared. Title hopes gone for this year and maybe next year too. And we'll see what Tatum's career arc is after this with the torn Achilles. I think that's fair. I think he misses probably next year, much of next season, and there's no way you're spending $500 million on this team and that payroll after you spend $6.1 billion and you don't even make the conference finals. And Holiday looks like ass. Horford looks old. Porzingis, I don't know what his deal is with this mysterious illness. And you could guard Jaylen Brown right now. You're better dribbler. I'll tell you that. So, but this is wild how if you go back to that story.
I forgot all about that.
Oh, it's incredible now, right? Where she
we're very critical of DraftKings.
Yeah, right. People are all over DraftKings.
Give her the cash out value. We're just going to avoid the tickets.
And going to gaming and doing this, and it worked out for her. And DraftKings also thought they were saving some cash because the tickets could have paid almost $400,000.
Maybe they'll appeal.
Yeah. Oh man, it's wild how this played out. So, oh man. That's the second time that's happened, and the announcers are saying ankle. He did something to the ankle just like Lillard, and it took 19 minutes to get an update. It's Achilles. No one touched him. No one's around him, right? All right. NFL schedule comes out tomorrow. Derek Stevens later in the show. Next Thursday, Mike Palm, Derek Stevens announced the new contests and the guarantee and what they're doing here at Circa. Can't wait. Vikings at FanDuel are 2.5 against the Steelers. In Ireland, they're 1.5 at DraftKings against the Steelers. Well, who's playing quarterback? That's number one. What are the Steelers going to do as the Rodgers soap opera drags on, and we don't know what's going to happen? Total of 42.5.
This is sort of the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes bowl here.
That's right.
In Dublin, right?
That's right.
Are the Vikings still holding him hostage for whether he's going to sign with Pittsburgh? Have they made a conclusion on McCarthy? How McCarthy's knee has looked coming out. I mean, I think the door is still open for Rodgers in Minnesota, but it's not going to be for starters money. It's going to be backup money, and he's either going to have to accept that or go play at Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. And I don't know where else is even in the ballpark now for him.
Okay, and then the week after that, they go to London, and they're 7 against the Browns, 41.5. Same thing. Who's playing quarterback? And then that. What did Tony Rizzo say? The wild assortment of toys in the quarterback room that they have. I don't know. Could be Flacco. Who knows? But maybe 7's too much if it's going to be McCarthy. And the game, that game is October 5th.
I bet you that number's more than 7 by the time.
You do? Okay.
I'm just going to make a prediction for you, Paul.
Well, I think this one will be higher too. Denver 6.5 against the Jets in London. Total of 41.5. Under? Fields against Knicks? Jets hope they have a good defense?
You know I'm anti all these international games, Paul.
Why?
Because I think the travel distorts the game.
I like the 6:30 kick. I like waking up breakfast with football.
You like that?
Yeah.
Are any of those games ever good? I mean,
we usually don't have
anecdotally,
them.
they're
I know.
usually snooze fest, those games.
Jets-Vikings was good.
Jets-Vikings was
Good,
okay,
yeah.
only because they came back in the second half.
Yeah.
The
Well,
Jets.
the
Otherwise, they were running them out in the first half.
Well, the problem is usually send trash over there.
It's true. You don't have the elite teams.
But everything's interesting, though, with a survivor standpoint.
Not a lot of Chiefs in London. Not a lot of Patriots.
Right.
Not a lot of.
Yeah.
I see the Cowboys in London.
So that is October 12th. Also in London, October 19th, the Rams are 4.5 against Jacksonville, 47.5. Rams are pass. Although Jacksonville's used to it, but it didn't work out last year. They got beat by Chicago. In Germany, Falcons 1.5, 44.5 against the Colts. I think that'll be an over. And then in Madrid, Washington is 2.5 at FanDuel. They're 3 at DraftKings. 48.5 against the Dolphins.
Seems cheap.
I agree with you on that one. Black Friday, Eagles 7 at home to the Bears. 46.5. There's your answer, Maestro. There you go. You know, Derek thinks maybe the Eagles will be used in Survivor.
But now they're part of the Thanksgiving mix.
They are. Now they're part of them. Yep, they're part of the mix there.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow who the other games are.
And as we mentioned yesterday, to start the season, Thursday, September 4th, Eagles are 7, 46.5.
Are they having 3 games on Christmas this year or 2?
That's what Goodell said.
I thought 3, right?
That's what
and
he said.
We know one of them.
Yep.
And we probably know all 3 because we know the 2 teams playing on the Saturday before, the 4 teams playing on the Saturday. So we might know all 6, really.
That is a Fox doubleheader, Saturday, December 20th. Eagles 1.5 at Washington, 48.5. Packers 1.5 at Chicago, 45.5. That seems low. The Bears finally ended the long losing streak against the Packers. But revenge, and then we'll see if I'm buying Johnson, but he's better be able to fix Williams. If he can fix him immediately. No excuses.
If he can't play with these weapons.
I'm with you. I know.
If he can't play with these weapons and inside of a system like this with Johnson, then he can't play.
Christmas, Chiefs are 4.5, 44.5 against the Broncos.
They played on Christmas Eve a couple of years ago, remember? So this is common for the Chiefs to play on Christmas.
Yeah. And then more games will be coming out today probably, and then we get the schedule tomorrow, the full schedule, and be fun to break down the next couple of days. And Adam Chernoff on the show Thursday as well. He has some thoughts on the schedule and also player movement and some win totals as well. So good job getting the numbers up. And looking forward to that tomorrow. And then the announcement next week here on Thursday with Mike Benson and also Derek Stevens. Good point, though, too, about the Week 16 doubleheader. Going against the college football tripleheader with the playoffs. That doesn't make any sense if they do that. They got to fix that. Shouldn't go head-to-head.
Well, the NCAA doesn't try to make the NFL their enemy. The only time they play on Sunday is when there's no NFL games on Sunday. So I think they stay out of the way pretty well. Yeah. In light of the Tatum news, Celtics are 25-1 to win the title at DraftKings. They are still 10-1. I think you went to 9 now to win the East. Not plus 950 at DraftKings. Adjusted series price, Knicks still 525. Well, we'll see what they're made of tomorrow. But again, Tatum was Superman last night, and they still lose the game. Where it's just... So you're telling me they're bringing Missoula back. They lose. Let's say they lose tomorrow, for argument's sake. What's the new owner going to do? Now he's got a new boss. Led by 14 or more in every game. Led by 20-plus in 3 of the games. They've been up 10 at halftime in every game. They're down 3-1. And in 3 of the games, they look completely lost in the third quarter. Mind you, not against a good defensive team either. Or I'll say great defensive team. And they stopped passing the ball. They stopped moving.
and it's chuck and duck offense. And I can say it because I can't prove it. This would have happened last year. But they got bailed out by all the injuries, and they weren't tested by a good team because everyone got hurt, and they didn't face Minnesota, and they didn't face Denver. They got Dallas. And Missoula was let off the hook, and they won it. The same thing would have happened last year, I'm convinced. This jacking offense, jacking up threes offense, and shooting 45, 50 threes a game. When the going gets tough, come down, take a three, doesn't go in. Here comes another Knicks run. A 37-23 performance in the third quarter by the Knicks as Tibbs kept the starters in, and they beat them on the glass again. Again, they did that. And the Celtics blew it. It's been awesome for in-play, what they've done. That the Boston implosion is coming. So, all that talent, Brown looks lost. Don't know what you're going to do with Porzingis and how bad Holiday and Horford have been as well. Wild. Before the line moves, the sharp plays at sharpplays.com is already there. They don't chase the market, they move it. You're not going to outmuscle billion-dollar sports books or full-time pro bettors on your own, but with the sharp plays, you don't have to. Powered by cutting-edge AI and trusted insider sources, the Sharp Plays delivers the edge that serious bettors rely on. You'll get free betting reports, real-time alerts, and market-moving insights, all delivered right to you via email or X. This isn't some overnight startup. They have a documented track record going back to 2011. Receipts, logs, and results right there on the site. Respected, watched, and feared. That's the Sharp Plays. Check them out now at sharpplays.com. Jets Stars at the bottom of the hour. And who's going to play in the Cup final now with Dennis Bernstein and his thoughts on Stolars and what Edmonton should do with Skinner. We'll also get to a good MLB card with a lot of hot numbers and trends and props. Up next, you cannot be serious. 2 managers have already been let go in Major League Baseball. Were they just the fall guy in both instances? Mike Palm up next on VSiN Follow the Money. Sirius XM Channel 158, downtown Las Vegas. CircaLasVegas.com.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Here comes more Cleveland money. Circa down to minus 250 adjusted series price on the Pacers. DraftKings down to $3 now. Adjusted series price as Mitchell's going to go tonight. It looks like Game 5 as the Cavs try to save their season. 3 good items here. We started off with you cannot be serious. Take it away, Maestro. Go get him.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious.
All right, Paul, earlier last week, the Pirates announced that they were firing manager Derek Shelton, who was hired on with the club in the year 2020. What did Derek Shelton fail to do, Paul? Well, he failed to compete early in the season for the NL Central title with a team basically the same as one that didn't compete from the NL Central title last year. The shame of him. Did they do enough to support Derek Shelton? The deep pockets of Bob Nutting, the owner. Ben Cherington's been there the whole time as GM as well. I'd like to go through some numbers with you, Paul. How much money the Pirates spend on free agency each year. Are you ready?
Okay.
For the 2025 season, they spent $19.95 million. For the 2024 season, they spent $34.05 million. 2023, $30.38 million. Here's where it really starts to get interesting. In 2022, Paul, they spent $16 million. In 2021, they spent $4.5 million on free agency. And in 2020, $6.25 million. That's $111.4 million in 6 years, every single dollar spent in 1-year deals. What is that equivalent to, $111 million? Well, that's equivalent to one Anthony Santander 5-year deal and, added on, one Patrick Sandoval 2-year deal. They did nothing for this man. and they lay it at the feet of Derek Shelton. Shame on you, Ben Cherington, GM. Bob Nutting, Pittsburgh Pirates owner.
You cannot be serious.
On Sunday, after winning a game, the Rockies announced they were firing long-term manager Bud Black. Now, this would have been the earliest firing, Paul, of a Major League manager in a season this century, except for the fact that the Pirates had fired Derek Shelton earlier in the week. I want to go back to what Rockies general manager Bill Schmidt said before Saturday night's game against the San Diego Padres. He said, I still believe in this season. I still believe we can turn it around. Our guys are still playing hard. That's what I'm looking at. Guys are working hard every day. They come with energy. I don't think we're ever going to be at the point of firing Bud Black. Guys still believe in what we are doing and where we are headed. We are just frustrated. 24 hours later, he fires Bud Black. I mean, here's another guy. What are his two big moves? They traded Nolan Arenado for nothing. Just a salary dump. And who do you think they made the highest paid Rockies of all time? None other than former Cub Chris Bryant. That's got to be the biggest bust of a deal maybe in the history of Major League Baseball.
Yep.
Maybe.
Could be.
I mean, I'd have to look at the numbers. But once again, fall guy Bud Black. I once asked Greg Mannix when he was here for our charity events, who was your favorite manager to play for? You know what he said? Bud Black.
Really?
The guy was 2 years older than me. We golfed together all the time. GM of the Rockies, Bill Schmidt.
You cannot be serious.
And then finally, this story. Are you familiar with this character, Paul? This Chiefsaholic guy?
Oh, yeah.
The wolf?
Oh, yeah.
The wolf that dressed up in the Chiefs gear?
Yeah.
A guy by the name of Xavier Bubadar. The guy's a prolific bank robber. Did you know this story?
And he would put it on Chief Futures and Mahomes MVP and stuff.
He robbed the bank. He won $100,000 in bets on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
He robbed banks in all these different states. He robbed a bank in Oklahoma by gunpoint on the way to a Chiefs game in Houston, right? And all he had 8 bank robberies. He got 17 years from federal time. In Oklahoma, they were trying to put him in jail for life, okay? For life because of this armed gun robbery in Oklahoma. But it ended up, they only gave him a 33-year sentence. And it will serve concurrently with his time in the federal. So instead of 17 plus 33, he's only going to do 33. But the prosecutor in Oklahoma wanted to get him in life. He said the guy just keeps robbing banks. He won't stop robbing banks. The Chiefs fans are sympathetic. Do you see the quotes on this?
No.
He never really tried to hurt anybody.
Oh, God.
Wait, most of the robberies were with a fake gun. That's what they. How about the shotgun? It was real. How about this one quote from a chief? This is a Chiefs employee who wished to remain anonymous. You cannot judge a man by 11 bank robberies alone.
Oh, stop it. That's not a quote.
The story is unbelievable.
Oh, come on.
You can't do it by just 11 alone.
Oh.
He was sent to the Supermax, the Alcatraz of the Rockies, this guy. What a joke. Kansas City Chiefs.
You cannot be serious.
That's awesome.
A wolf in Chiefs clothing.
Oh, I know. With
That's
the
a
mask and
ridiculous
everything.
story.
Oh, my God. Anyway, yeah, come on. You're going to have a bad day. It's like Harry Carey. Well, anyone can have a bad century. I'm scared. I told Mitch this, but watch How to Rob a Bank on Netflix. It's awesome. The guy was selling meth and to the Hells Angels, and then the guy he was giving the drugs to got killed. He goes, I got to find a different line of work. So we started robbing banks in the Pacific Northwest, and they would have like this makeup crew, and they would put all this makeup on, and they called him the Hollywood Robber or something. He got like 18. He robbed 18 banks. I think he did the same one several times, and it was very good on Netflix. Which
a true story.
Yeah, absolutely. The guy built a tree house. He would just go up there. I'm like, how the hell did he do this? How about this news? In a historic sweeping decision, Rob Manfred removed Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and other deceased players from MLB's permanently ineligible list. The all-time hit king and Joe, both longtime baseball pariahs stained by gambling, seen by MLB as the game's mortal sin, are now eligible for election in the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. Manfred ruled that the punishment of banned individuals ends upon their deaths. Now, I hope it would have happened while Pete was alive.
So that's the ruling he's making.
Yeah, that's
the ban ends at death.
Come on. And well, shoot. The other thing, the movie came out in '88. I loved it. It was called 8 Men Out, and I think John Cusack plays Buck Weaver. Buck Weaver was also on this list. And Eddie, the pitcher, Cicciotti, if I'm pronouncing it right, it goes back to all these guys in the Black Sox scandal in the movie 8 Men Out, which was unbelievable. But they say it in the movie, and they pointed out on his Wikipedia page that Shoeless Joe led both teams in several categories and set a World Series record with 12 hits. Yet they said, hey, you're telling me he was fixing? The NBA lottery looks more fixed than what this guy was producing. And the guy led in hits, set a record, and led in several categories. I think he had a home run. I think he had the only led in triples as well. So, I mean, it was well done in 8 Men Out, proclaiming his innocence in what happened. And I thought that was spot on. I can't remember who played Shoeless Joe in the movie, but I know people walked out.
D.B. Sweeney.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And 8 Men Out?
Okay.
D.B. Sweeney.
I know people walked out of Field of Dreams when he came right-handed. I mean, you got to get that right.
It was all filmed around Dubuque, though, Paul.
Yeah.
They painted the town up like
your
the turn
backyard
of the century.
Yeah, really?
I umpired games at the Field of Dreams in Dyersville. You know, that they built the Field of Dreams there. They still do the Major League game there.
Uh-huh, yeah.
They did a lot of 12 and under, 14 and under stuff for baseball, yeah. Fun times.
Was it harder dealing with the kids or the parents?
Oh, it's the parents.
Really?
The kids are never an issue.
Yeah, really?
Look, you kids.
Maybe a bad call, that's it, you move on.
The kids
but the parents won't let it go.
They never stop.
Living vicariously through them, and my kids
call it both ways. That's the one I really hate.
Call it both ways, Blues?
What do you think?
Yeah.
I know these a team from Puerto Rico and a team from North Carolina. Call it both ways. I'm invested. Come on.
You ever throw someone out?
I've thrown parents out.
Have you?
Yes.
Language?
Insinuation of double standards. That's the one. I can't stand it.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't stand it.
What do you do?
Huh? I tell them get out. There's somebody there. There'll be an official. Kick him out.
They'll
of the
complain.
stands.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do?
Yeah.
If Mike Palm and you're the umpire says get out of here, the fan has to leave.
The fan has to leave. Angel Hernandez through
McMichael.
Yeah.
Threw up McMichael singing this Tottenham in the 7th inning stretch. He was blowing kisses. He was blowing kisses to him.
That was quite a thing there where Harry was out and they had all the guest people and all that.
Yep.
Remember Bill Murray? He was the
awesome.
best fill-in.
Loved Bill Murray. Yep.
He's Floyd Yeomans. He said, Floyd, how is this guy still in the major? He's terrible. Floyd Yeomans pitching for the Expos. That was great. Speaking of quickly, interrelated to sports and gambling, you see at this tournament in Rome, this Italian Open, they're throwing people out who are heckling players. They believe they're heckling them because they're placing in-game wagers on their opponent and they're yelling when they're serving. They're screaming at them. They're saying stuff about their family. They threw 8 people out today, believing it's related to in-play wagering.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wasn't there something with the golf where guys were yelling in a guy's backswing too?
Yeah.
That they thought it was in-play related as well?
Well, they're going to say
Excellent.
that.
Yeah. No,
they might just be jerks.
could be. Baba Booey. Or mashed potatoes. One game tonight. But what's going to happen now with the rest of the NHL playoffs and the Maple Leafs and Oilers? Are they facing a tough decision? Dennis Bernstein up next. Follow the money. Sirius XM Channel 158, Talking Pucks.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Talk some pucks with our friend Dennis Bernstein, fourthperiod.com, Sirius XM NHL. Follow him on X at Dennis TFP. He joins us now on the Progressive Guest Line. Good to talk hockey with you, Dennis. How you been, my friend?
Never better. We're in the second round. We're getting closer to the Cup final. Can't wait. It's been a great 2 rounds, and looking forward to talking to you guys about puck tonight.
Mike yesterday compared Hellebuck to Clayton Kershaw. What is going on with this guy on the road? I can't believe Dallas only opened up $1.40 tonight. Last 9 road playoff games, 1-8 with a 5-2 goals against. Your level of confidence in the Jets and Hellebuck tonight, and why is he so bad on the road?
0. No confidence. How can you make that play? Unless you say, okay, the trend is going, there's no way he can continue this. Sure he can. It's a mental block. That's what's going on. Like, he's not physically hurt. The team, and they say, they could play better in front of him. They haven't played that badly in front of him. He's deep in his net. He's not as aggressive as he was in the regular season. It's a situation where, people say it's cliche that it's different in the playoffs. It's not. Look at the change in this player. Like, he's going to win the Vezina. He was the best goalie in the league, and he can't stop a beach ball right now. I can't play this game on the Jets. I can't. I play the over because I don't believe the guy can make saves. But this is a very, very crucial game for Connor Hellebuyck. He has to get this series even, going back to Winnipeg, because if they go down 3-1 in the series, they're not rallying from 3-1. A lot's on his shoulders tonight in Dallas.
Dennis, we've all been very critical of Hellebuyck in the playoffs. But on the other side, you have Jake Ottinger, who I call a fake ace, who everybody puts up there at this very elite level, but he hasn't gotten it done in the playoffs. He hasn't been good enough. You get him to the Western Conference Finals, but he can't get him over the hump. This Dallas team, which they did a great job at the trade deadline, lost the last 7 games. They lose. They get blown out in the first game to Colorado. Somehow they steal that series with the Rantanen third period in Game 7. Yeah. They got the lead. They steal a pretty even game in Game 1 here. They've got the lead tonight. In a lot of books, they're the favorites right now to win the Stanley Cup. Yeah. The Dallas Stars. Do you agree with that favoritism?
The only reservation I have, Maestro, is what you just mentioned, Jake Ottinger. Because I remember last year against Edmonton, where they had a lead in that series and they blew it. And they had a lead in Game 6 and he blew it, and he didn't play well. That's the one reservation, because they're getting back Heiskanen back. And if you look at their defensive metrics with him in the lineup, and he missed 30, 40 games, they're way better defensively. So yes, there's a path to a cup victory for the Dallas Stars. What's probably staying in the way is a subpar performance from Jake Ottinger. And you're right, Meister. I don't trust the guy. That's the one reservation I got about this team, because they're clearly the deepest. Now they get back their best defensive. And the guy who's on a heater who's going to win the Conn Smythe and Mikko Rantanen. They check all the boxes. The one hesitancy I have is in goal.
So you like the Stars tonight? And everyone likes the Stars. Why not? Do you like anyone to score a goal?
I like the shot prop on Nikolai Ehlers over 2.5, because he's going to shoot the puck and they need to score goals. So, and I love Kyle Connor. So if there's an anytime goal prop, it's got to be Kyle Connor. He'll find a way to get one in the back of the net. Because I think I think you look at it's maybe 5.5 or 6 is the goal total. I think I'd lean towards the over in this game.
Okay, and if Edmonton, let's assume Edmonton wins tomorrow and Skinner plays well, what would you do in goal if you're Knoblauch moving forward?
I keep riding him.
Okay,
I keep riding him because he got his confidence back last night. Who gave him a lot of confidence? The Vegas Golden Knights.
Yes,
because they didn't do crap back. They were so soft. And I picked Vegas in 6. I watched that game last night. The only highlight for Jack Eichel in the series was standing like a traffic cone when Connor McDavid went by him for the overtime goal. And where's Hurdle? He looks like he's 70 years old. He looks slow. They've done a great job scouting this team, defending this team, and now he's got a confidence back. Now, if Skinner has a bad game in Game 5, would it go back to Calvin Pickard if they were healthy? Yeah, because I think this is the first time you might see in a very long time, fellas, that you have a tandem getting to the Stanley Cup final. I think it's while you would go with Skinner again because he had a good game, I really think the net situation in Edmonton is game to game.
Interesting. The news came down about 40 minutes ago. Luc Robitaille, it sounds like Hiller's going to come back. Rob Blake, the GM, was let go. Was Hiller on the hot seat because of Game 3? And then what happened with you after the game went viral? If you can take us through that.
Yeah, so what happened was the Kings blew leads in games 1, 3, and 4. They wound up winning game 1 on a great bounce in the last minute. They lost 3 and 4. They lost momentum and wound up losing the series. And I asked at the end of game 4 to Jim Hiller, given the way they blow leads in the series, is there anything you could do to change how you finish games? And he looked at me with disdain and went like that. He goes, we were 20 seconds away from winning, da-da-da. The next reporter asked a question, and he went back at me and said, "That's your favorite question." And I said it off mic. People didn't hear it unless you listen really close. I said it happened 3 times. They should have won that series. Yep. This was going to be the year they won the series. It's a better team, better goaltender, whatever. Right? Was he in jeopardy? I don't think so, because you can't throw out the baby with the bathwater, right? They had a 105-point season. It was tied a franchise record. They have probably 3 of the 4 core players they need right now in Byfield, Kempe, and Kevin Fiala. So there's a lot to look good for this team. And usually when a GM comes in, he could usually have his pick of a new coach. But Luc Robitaille said at the press conference earlier this week, Hiller's under contract, so is the rest of the staff. He anticipates them coming back, but I'm assuming that with respect to the coach, a really short leash. Okay. This team expects to contend next season. They come out of the box the first 20 games, 9-11. You could see a coaching change if, in fact, Kenny Holland, who was the GM of the Edmonton Oilers, is now going to be GM of the LA Kings.
Everyone said it was the worst challenge they've ever seen. And then the decision to sit back in Game 4 with a 2-goal lead as well was atrocious.
Yeah, well, the decision on the video comes to the video judge upstairs. They thought there was enough, and it was really basically up to the coach. With respect to laying back, they've defended the coach, though, Pauly. They've said, like, oh, we never have told by a coaching staff to sit back. Did you watch the game? They sat back.
Yeah.
They sat back. So the coach has got to tell them, keep pushing, keep trying to get that goal. And I get it. Like in Game 4, Kevin Fiala hit the post with 4 minutes left. That could have turned the tide. But they're sitting at home. The Edmonton Oilers have gone on and could go on again. So, yeah, there was a lot of criticism of Jim Hiller, rightfully, for those decisions. I think he's going to survive, but I think he has a short leash here in Los Angeles next season.
Dennis, I need some betting advice from you. Tomorrow night in Toronto, it's probably the biggest game there since maybe 2002 when they made the Eastern Final against Carolina. I took the Panthers plus 190 in the series after Game 2 because I said, what did Toronto do? They held home ice. Why would the series flip this much? Now I can get back plus 170 on Toronto. To me, this series is dead even. Both teams have been better in 2 of the games. Should I let it ride with the Panthers, or should I take it back, take the profit, and bet Toronto to win this series back so I have plus 190 and plus 175, I guess I get right now?
You're a very smart man, Maestro, but I have no faith in the Leafs. You let that team get off the deck.
Yeah, they did.
Down 0-2. All you had to do was split.
Yep.
And you let them off the deck. This is a championship team. And, of course, Brad Marchand got this team back in the series. No, I like the Panthers in 6 here to start. I wasn't too concerned when they went down 2-0 because the games were close. And, is Stolarz going to play for the Leafs? Wall's been good enough. I look at the pedigrees here, and I see one team that's won a championship and one team that gets out of the first round and never does any damage. Let it ride, Maestro. Keep on the Panthers.
Yep. What do you do with Stolarz? Berube said he's much better. Does he play him?
Yeah, he's their best goalie. If he's healthy, play him. Like, Wall did a good enough job, but not for nothing. Look, Austin Matthews obviously is not 100% physically, right? He hasn't scored a goal, right? So you need your big players to step up. You got to go with your best. You can't save Anthony Stolarz for October, Pauly. You got to play him now if he's healthy. You got to put him back in because he's your best option to win games.
Yeah. Oh, if he's healthy, no doubt. I'm with you on that. Now who meets in the Stanley Cup final?
Well, for my freaking 5 miles, I'll say Edmonton and Florida, but if I went an easy trip, I'll say Florida and Dallas. It's a 2-hour flight between cities.
No Carolina?
No, not enough offense. Not enough offense. Good enough to beat Washington.
Yeah.
Right, because Washington hasn't been there as a group before. But I think the lack of offense, you're starting to see it in games. I think they'll come back to bite them in the next round. So I like the winner of Florida and Toronto to get to the Cup final.
Thank you, my man. Good stuff. Talk to you soon. Be well. Thank you.
Thanks, Dennis.
It was a pleasure.
There it is. Dennis Bernstein, our progressive guest line at Dennis TFP on X, Sirius XM NHL. Connor, plus 160, anytime goal at DraftKings. Mentioned the shot prop as well. It's just, like we talked about yesterday, in 4 of the last 5 road games, he's been pulled. This year, he's 0-4 with a 6.65. And then 9 of the 10 road losses have been by 3+ goals. And he's given up 4 in those games, too. More than 4 or more in those games. He's right. He can't stop a beach ball.
I tell you, when he left the bench, when he got pulled early, or he got pulled at the end of the second period in St. Louis in Game 4, I thought was a telltale sign about where this guy's head is on the road.
Yeah.
You don't leave the bench, Paul. You get pulled, you sit with your team.
He said all the right things after they beat the Blues, but this is headed sideways again.
2 goals in 2 minutes.
Good MLB card up next. We'll share you with great information, props, and you won't believe the run that Jackson Merrill's on coming up on Follow the Money.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, let's keep the winners coming. Great MLB info the last 3 weeks. All these guys who have been in hot streaks have cashed some tickets, not only going over their total bases, but hitting home runs. The late game. We're going to throw out the Malinsky special because the Dodgers had a day off?
I do.
All right.
I do it only with no day off.
All right, I like it. They finally return home following a 10-game road trip. They're 15-3 at Dodger Stadium. They had a season-high 18 hits on Sunday. They're playing the A's. It's Springs against Knack. Springs has allowed the most first-inning runs. Opponents also are 12 for 12 in stolen bases against them. This is pretty good for a Yurfie. The A's have the best road record in baseball. They have the second worst home record at 8-13.
And they're complaining about this Sutter Health Stadium having to play 81 games there.
Mm-hmm.
You mean it's worse than the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum?
Yeah, right.
I didn't hear him complaining last year.
I know. Here's play number 1. Freddie Freeman, total bases over. 1.5, little juice. 2, plus money at DraftKings. He's sitting .475 with 12 extra base hits, 5 home runs, and 22 RBIs over his last 16 games. He had a home run and 2 doubles on Mother's Day. After tonight, he will lead the NL because he'll qualify for appearances. He'll lead the NL in average, on base, and slugging. He is crushing it right now. And that prop, other than the game where Burns shut him down, he continues to go over the total base prop. Mookie Betts, play number 1. Also, Mookie Betts is hitting .362 with 4 extra base hits, 11 RBIs, and 16 runs scored over the last 12 games. His average has gone up 42 points. So good numbers here. Dodgers, $2 at home. Padres trying to get a win against the Angels. The Angels have lost the last 5 games started by Soriano. Cease is $2.25 at home. Merrill, since coming off the IL, 14 for 23 with 7 RBIs in the last 5 games. He has 2 minus $1.10 total bases. You want to go over 1.5 for more juice? I like that as well. So that's play number 2 with Freeman over total bases and also Merrill. Best bets brought to you by G-Bank, the Visa Signature Card. Get it today. Most credit cards, street sports books, and gaming transactions as cash advances. Even when you put your own money on the card, G-Bank treats it as purchases, so you're saving up to 3 to 5% on cash advance fees and gaming transactions right there. Also with G-Bank, you're earning 1% cash back on eligible sports book and gaming transactions and 2% cash back rewards on all eligible purchases. Apply now. VSiN.com/Gbank. VSiN.com/Gbank. There's good numbers here, too. Guys that have struggled against Cease. And Sonny Gray goes. I'll find that in a second. Sonny Gray goes tonight. Every game.
Rained out. Cardinals,
is
Phillies.
it? Okay.
And Twins, Orioles rained out.
Oh, no.
2 rainouts.
Come on. Unbelievable. I had good numbers on Sonny Gray.
I'm very sorry.
Oh, that's... And the Twins?
And Twins rained out.
Okay.
Both the teams with the win streaks.
Yes. How about what St. Louis is doing? 9 in a row. Outscored their opponents 47-18, and the relievers have a .68 ERA. I can't believe this turnaround, right?
I thought they were going to finish last in the Central.
Yeah.
If you would have ordered me to do the super high 5 there, I would have said Cubs, Reds, Brewers, Pirates, Cardinals.
Okay. Like the Yankees tonight from a side perspective. Max Fried's $1.45 in Seattle. Now the Mariners can't get a win. Fried with a 1.05 ERA. Judge continues to rake. I don't trust Wu to get them out. And again, the Yankees won every start Fried has made as well. I like the Yankees $1.45 on the road tonight. Also, Texas, 240 against Colorado. They only have 2 road wins the entire year. It's Freeland going against Leiter. Oh, boy. I mean, they should rock Freeland. I think the over 8.5 is better. Seager, career against Freeland, 14 of 23 with a home run and 2 doubles. But do you trust Leiter, who didn't pitch well in the 5-0 loss against the Red Sox? In his last 3 starts, he has an 8.31 ERA. And he has walked 10 batters. Freeland's making his 8th start, still searching for his first win of 2025 and first overall since September 8 of 2024. Freeland, Houck, how about that call? How bad is Houck? Why were they favored in Detroit? That was crazy.
Detroit took a little bit of late money there.
Yeah, okay.
Job hadn't lost a start, and he hadn't won one.
Yep. Freeland, Houck, and Kikuchi and Verlander, only pitchers with 8+ starts this season and no wins. Freeland, off his worst start of 2025, gave up 9 runs in 3 innings against the Tigers on Thursday. He's got a 5.63 ERA in 4 starts against Texas, and they've lost 18 of their first 20 road games, the 6th team in the modern era to do that. But his 242 run line again, Texas? What do you think?
The run line bit you last night.
I know, it's
2-1.
tough. They could have hit.
I thought I had it right. I did the money line parlay and got through it. How about Merrill Kelly? All those awful numbers in San Francisco.
Those numbers were tough.
7 innings, 1 run last night.
But lost 8 of 9.
Yeah.
I know. Ridiculous. I know. Oh, man. Come back with the Cubbies? What do you think?
Why not?
Team total went over 265 at home against Miami. Miami's pitching's atrocious. Cubs number 1 in runs. Total's 8. Brown is 265. This kid was pretty good against the Dodgers, though, last time out. Yeah, okay. And Senga is 250 against Keller and the Pirates. Mets got the win again last night, come from behind. 4 walk-off wins, trail only the Giants and Marlins. They've won 16 of their first 20 home games for the 3rd time in franchise history. They've only lost 1 series. The starters have been awesome. Only the Padres have a better rotation at home than the Mets this year. Senga has allowed 1 run over his first 3 home starts. 14 2/3 with a 0.61 ERA. Only Fried has a lower ERA than Senga with a minimum 30 innings pitched. Mets run line, $1.20.
I might play the total again tonight.
What are you going to do?
Well, I like Keller. I might play this total again tonight.
Are you? Okay.
Tonight. Maybe go under 4 in the first 5.
All right. Reds 225 with Abbott at home. The Reds either explode or they get shut out, right? I think they've been shut out 7 times. And then how the offense breaks out of it from time to time. White Sox 3-17 on the road. Oh, I thought it was Cannon. Now it's not Cannon anymore.
Isert.
Is it? Okay. Cannon had a horrific ERA on the road there as well. So Abbott's minus 225 and $1.15 on the run line. We got a game going in 10 minutes again. Brewers and Guardians. Good call on the under yesterday, Maestro. Even though Lively left early, they shut down the Brewers. Allen is $1.40. Total of 9. Coming up, Milwaukee had won 8-9 against Cleveland. They got shut out yesterday, and now Cleveland $1.40 at home. And this one, the numbers are kind of phony, but Cleveland keeps winning games. What happens here and what they're doing?
You think Framber's turning it around?
Yeah.
Well, he had a good start in Milwaukee. Now, he lost in Kansas City, but threw a complete game in the loss. They lost 2-0, but he threw 8 innings as the road team. Now he gets Kansas City again at home. Pretty cheap at home, $1.35 here. If you think Framber's turning it around.
Yeah. Witt and all these guys have bad numbers against them, too. So I think that is a little cheap. 7.5 the total. And some numbers here on what's the Tigers line? What are they laying? They're $1.20 against the Red Sox. I like the Tigers again. Baez is hitting .356, 16 RBIs in his last 11 games. Torkelson has the best OPS of his career as well. He's second to Judge in RBIs in the American League. Torres is hitting the ball as well. He's hitting .371 with 10 RBIs in 10 May games. He's one of 10 batters with as many walks as strikeouts. And Riley Green has 6 home runs and 15 RBIs over his last 17 games dating back to April 23rd. Only Judge and Schwarber are doing better and have more. A candidate for a home run is Abreu in that game. As he's been, I think he's got 5 home runs in his last 8 games. You could play that one too for the Red Sox. Total 8.5 with Holton, and that goes at 340 with the Tigers. What a run, right? They can hit. See where that with run differential? And I have to fade Baz here.
Yeah,
probably
play
the
Toronto.
Over. Yeah. Barrios against Baz, total of 8. Toronto $1.35 at home. 0-2 with an ERA of 13 in his last 2 starts, Baz. He's been bad. I think you have to back Toronto as well. But they're off that sweep against Seattle. So, Minnesota, 8 in a row, outscored their opponents 40-20 during the streak. The Pen's been great during that stretch. And what the Cardinals are doing also incredible. 9 in a row, outscoring their opponents 47-18. So there you go. Witt and Renfroe horrible against Valdez. And Soler 0 for 20 with 12 strikeouts against Cease. If you want to play his props. We'll go to Cleveland. Check in with Mitchell's status and the status of the Cavs. Tony Rizzo, ESPN Cleveland, coming up next on Follow the Money. Sirius XM Channel 158.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.